Yeah, it was frustrating to watch, because there's so much anticipation around week one. And, to not take advantage of some of the opportunities we had on offense and special teams was frustrating.
What's a day like today, Zach, for you and Brian, when you discuss what you guys could not get accomplished on offense?
Well, there was, again, a lot of factors that played into it. We make the corrections on the things that we can control offensively and then move on to Baltimore. So I think it's one you don't want to dwell too much on. Pretty clear we weren't good enough on third down. We were about a yard short on several drives there in the first quarter, 2 of the 3 drives in the first quarter. And so, sometimes it's the inches like that set you back from gaining some true momentum in the first half. And that's what this game was about.
On the third and manageable, really, third and shorts, and you're like 7 of them and only got 1.
Yeah.
I mean, was there something that was a common thread in some of those that just wasn't right for you guys yesterday?
Well, the very first 3rd and 1, we had a quick game throw in the rain, and it was a little just sloppy. The throw and the catch, which was tough. We had another 3rd and 1 where we ran it, and just didn't quite get off quick enough and able to sustain that first down. So those are 2 that come to mind there in the first half. Big picture, there's a lot of confidence in our room that we're going to be just fine. It's first game. We won't make too much out of it. Wish we'd had more success, should have had more success, but we didn't. And you got to give credit to Cleveland. They came out ready to play. They had a great plan. Their players executed it. And, they deserve that week 1 win.
That's an area, those third and shorts, third and manageables, that was your bread and butter last year. You guys won the best in the league. So is there an extra frustration in, we're losing in spots that we have traditionally been really good?
Yeah, we just the passing game was difficult yesterday. And, you look at one of the completions he made to TB, you're basically shot putting the football to him. And they had the same issues on their end. And so that's something we take great pride in, is the passing game and being able to execute and getting a leg up on people. And yesterday was just a real challenge for us. And that's all it was. And so we'll make the corrections and we'll move on.
On those third downs, what did you see from Travion and Chris? Did you like what you saw in pass pro?
I thought they did a good job. I thought the backs played well yesterday. I thought they gave us enough in protection. I thought Joe Mixon ran the football really hard. I thought he had a really good game for us, gave us what we needed. So I thought those guys did a good job executing in all the phases that we need them to in terms of offense.
The deep balls to team one-on-one matchups, why didn't those work yesterday the same way they used to?
The deep
throws to team, there were probably 3 or 4.
Yeah, I can think of one. There's one on an inside fade and a one-on-one situation. That's the one that stands out in my mind. And, some of those 50-50 balls, there was just, some of them were difficult for us yesterday.
How'd you come out injury-wise, Zach? Any concerns out of that game?
Concerns right now, no. We'll continue to assess, but I think there's a good chance that most of our team's ready to go. If not, maybe practice on Wednesday. We'll find out some more a little bit today, but be ready to go later in the week.
How was the pass protection overall?
I thought,
in terms of communication and all that.
Again, I think that there were some things that we can clean up internally. Just some subtle communication things. I thought the on the sideline communication was really good, cleaning up some of the protections as we went. I had to make some adjustments. I thought what we got enough to win the game in protection-wise. Obviously, it's a tough front. They present some challenges. There's some unknowns about some looks you're going to get in week 1. I was encouraged by what I saw from those guys and feel like we can continue to build on that and feel good about the protection moving forward.
Yesterday, Ted Carrison, the communication was poor. Why do you think it was poor?
Well, there's some things early on that we were able to clean up as we went. And so I won't get too in depth in it, but I felt encouraged as the game went that we were on the same page and had made the right adjustments, and that's part of playing week 1 football. You got to be able to do that as you move on.
How did the World Cup do there?
Good.
There was so much made about the glove, Burrow going back and forth with the glove. He's obviously played in games, whether it be snow and rain.
Yeah, snow and rain are 2 totally different things.
But what was it so much with the weather climate yesterday that was tricking him up in his ability to grip the ball? What was it about
the rain? I mean, the rain. That was probably the biggest rain game I've been a part of in 10 years. And I can't speak for them. But you saw in the kicking game. and so sometimes the ball just gets away from you, can't get a great grip on it. There's a battle of, okay, let's get some quick game. That's even harder because you got to grab it quicker and you don't get a grip. And so then you're trying to play action and maybe get a better grip and push it down the field. Well, then they got a pretty good rush. They're putting 5 D linemen in the game and creating problems that way. So, there was just things you have to continue to balance. I thought they did a great job handling it. Cleveland did. And there's some things that we can certainly do better.
It was hard to tell if it was like fully raining, if it was just misting, and as a full quarterback, is there a big difference when it's just like a mist hovering? That kind of makes it.
It was raining down on maybe you were inside, but it was raining. It was raining.
When you're watching the tape of the game that had such bad weather, how does that change or make it more difficult to assess?
You don't overstate a lot of the things that happen. There's so many things that we're confident in ourselves to move forward from. There are certainly things that we could have done better, that you take the elements out of it, you take the other team out of it. There are some things that usually we are much better at, that we weren't good enough on, some phases of offense in particular. Feel really strong that those are things that we've cleaned up today and will be much better moving forward.
With the injuries, and you said you thought most of the guys would be able to go Wednesday, does that include Osai, or are you just talking about guys that played yesterday?
Yeah, Osai, he really is day-to-day right now, and so we'll see where he's at. I don't want to make any guesses on where he'll be on Wednesday, but he had a really good week last week.
How did you think Dax and Nick played, maybe especially in tandem?
Yeah, I think the defense as a whole, I'll speak to them. I thought the defense as a whole certainly gave us enough. We didn't do anything to take the pressure off of them, and really held up some bad field possession situations. If you look at the field possession, the second quarter drive starts, the second quarter in particular, completely lopsided, and they continued to make stop after stop. Gave up 3 points there for a long time, and then obviously had the one right before the half, but gave us what we needed. We just weren't able to take the pressure off of them. Very reminiscent of the Halloween game last year. Exact same situation, really, if you want to look at it that way.
Understanding exactly that slow starts don't derail the season we saw last year.
Yep.
Does there have to be, will you guys as a coaching staff have a conversation about training camp, preseason, to get yourselves in a better position for week 1 next year? Is that even a thought at this point?
Those are something we'll assess next year.
Just going back to what you're talking about with the defense, when you're playing a guy like Nick Chubb, who is just going to get production, he's one of the best players in the league, how do you evaluate defensive success against him? Obviously, I'm sure you don't look at his personal stats, and of course, the most important thing is winning and losing, but how do you evaluate how your defense played against him in that specific player?
I thought our defense did a good job against the run for the most part. There's a couple things, again, we can clean up. But again, I thought enough. One thing you can't allow them to do is play with the lead, get 40 rushes, stick to their identity, and so you got to get a team like that out of that. And we didn't do anything to do that and take our pressure off the defense.
With you guys, what are the conversations in game? Obviously, you're a pass first team. First, it's raining. You had a couple nice rushing moments. How are you balancing run versus pass kind of over the game?
Well, it was certainly run first. I think 11 of our first 18 normal down plays were runs. 2 screens, quick game, so we were trying to do that stuff to take the pressure off the pass game. Third downs is third down. We tried to balance that as we manage that. And again, we're down 10-0, and then still try to be patient with the run game. We had a really good drive where I think we leaned on 4 runs in a row, and O-line and Mixon and tight ends did a great job there on that drive. So again, we tried to do different things and just didn't find a great rhythm yesterday, and that was the tough part.
Cheeto, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Cheeto come through okay, and how did you like DJ?
Yeah, to my eye, Cheeto came through fine. Obviously we'll see with some of these guys today what kind of soreness they got. Thought DJ played well in his first game.
You had a slew of guys on teams making their debuts. Rollins, Battle, how do you think they held up?
Yeah, I think in all the areas there's going to be some cleans we got to clean up. I didn't think the moment was too big for any of those young guys. That's step one, and that's encouraging.
How frustrating was making the field position battle for most of the first time? Seems like y'all were pinned back. How big of a difference is that? How much of an obstacle is that, especially when the weather is the way it is?
Yeah, that's a big deal in this division. It's a big deal when you combine that with the weather and on the road, because your cadence is an issue. So there's a lot of factors working against you when you're in a road game like that. And so that's where the kicking game's got to make a big step there. And that's where the offense, you don't necessarily have to score every time, but you do need to get some first downs. And so that's where just coming up a yard short on the second drive and the third drive is a huge deal. Just gaining one more first down and being able to get that punt 10 yards further is something that can make a big difference. And we certainly on offense didn't do anything to help ourselves there.
With Brad Robbins specifically, not the kind of debut he would like to have, do you attribute that maybe more to the nerves of a debut or the weather?
Man, I mean, it's, you don't want to sit here and make excuses. That's a tough situation, first game. Obviously some things that they'll talk through in the special teams room, and but it's a tough one, and things that we'll need to improve on. Again, just watching snaps, catches, both sides of the ball for those guys and our guys, it was a challenging situation.
A lot about the grip on the ball in the rain
Yep.
for Joe, but with his calf, you guys not seeing him out there in a game before, that could be an effect there, with just the grass being wet. Were you feeling any limitations or anything you were concerned about in play calling with him, but having that injury and a wet field and everything else?
There were things we factored in going into the game, and just didn't play well enough, didn't give ourselves enough opportunities to get into a good rhythm and do some of the things that could have helped us more. So that was challenging.
Joe said yesterday after the game that no one's going to ban him. As I alluded to before, you started 0-2 last year in the AFC Championship. You feel sensing that today, the guys are confident
Yeah.
back out there.
Our guys are in a great place, and we've played enough games now as a team together to understand what kind of team we have, and to see that even on film like this yesterday, and still be encouraged, still be motivated to move on and play in front of a great home crowd. And one thing I will say that I will continue to echo this week is our home field is such an advantage, especially early in the season with new players on a team and new communication. That's what we're looking really forward to, is playing in front of our home crowd and getting those advantages with the noise and the way that our fans always turn up, and support us that way. That's going to be a great advantage that we can have this Sunday at 1.